Hi, it's Kai and welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally going to be doing my favorite products of 2024. I believe it is 24 products or around 24-ish products, so it might be a little bit of a longer video. Definitely get a snack. Let me know what you're eating as a snack or a little drinky drink, smoothie, whatever you've got going on for this video. But we're going to be going over basically everything except fragrance. I have beauty products, I've got nails, I've got laundry products. I've even got technically shoes, but like clothing. So without further ado, let's just stop the chatter and get into this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll actually start with the clothing or the shoes, since that is probably the smallest category, or like one of the smallest categories of products. And the first ones that I have are these Steve Madden little Mary Janes. I'll have everything linked in the description box as always, but I just got so much use out of these. I remember I purchased them like maybe December 28th or 29th, like the very end of 2023. And like I said, I just wore them so much so that like my friends actually think of me when they see red shoes like these, or when they see little Mary Janes, again, red shoes from other brands. They're always like, oh, those look like the ones that Kai wears. So I feel like these are kind of, again, synonymous with me in real life. I just really enjoy them. I've worn a lot of outfits with them, put together outfits, most of my outfit content, which I do want to do some fashion and outfit videos and more of that over here, but I'm just not quite sure how to incorporate that long form. So if you have any ideas about how to do that or anything you want to see in that realm from me, please let me know. Like I said, if you've seen any of my outfits, you've probably seen these, despite the fact that they're not the most comfortable. We all know Steve Madden has a pretty nefarious, infamous reputation. I feel like this is an instance where infamous is actually the correct version of that word to use. He has a pretty infamous reputation for his shoes hurting. Like, I don't know what it is about them, whether it's the materials or construction, they always hurt. Those hurt. I remember after going to the Niall Horan concert, I wore those to that. I had like little skin rubbed off on my pinky toes and stuff like that. So they're not necessarily, again, the most comfortable, but despite them being not the most comfortable, I still wear them super often. It's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I will take the pain in order to wear them. A more comfortable pair of shoes that I have especially been loving towards the end of the year, I'm sure you guys knew this was coming, especially again, if you're on my other channels and you've seen my outfits and stuff like that. These are my Windsor Smith boots. I got them secondhand off of Mercari, and it was the best like purchase I feel of last year. I did a whole year of only buying secondhand and vintage and thrifting and stuff like that. So being able to find these, they were basically in completely new condition, and they're just my style to a T. Like, they've got the chains on them, and I'm actually seeing now that you can take the chains off. I didn't know that they had the little clasp to be able to take the chains off, so if I didn't want to wear them and just wanted kind of like the little harness straps on there, I could do that. But I personally really like the chains. Again, it's kind of my personal style to have that there. They're also super platform. Most of my shoes are platform or have some sort of heel on them. Even, you know, these, they're kind of like flats, but they have a slight heel on them because I'm pretty short in real life. So I always like something that gives me the illusion of being a little taller, and those boots do. I feel like I look super tall and just like the way that they look on me, and they're also not that uncomfortable to walk around in, despite the fact that they have more of a platform on them. Again, I just love those two pairs of shoes so much. They go basically from the two different spectrums, or are on the two different spectrums of my style, the kind of like cutesy version of me, and then the more like edgy, almost gothic emo, like channeling those types of vibes. We'll go into my single laundry product first, which is more of a fragrance product. I kind of use it that way. It imparts a little bit of fragrance on my clothing, keeps them fresh and everything. It is the Downy Unstoppables. These are the Unstoppable Fusions, which has the Twilight and Jasmine scent. And this is like a fruity, floral, musky, clean type of scent. And it just works so beautifully. I feel like I need barely a capful of them, and they're just like stronger to me than a lot of the other scent beads, even some of the other Downy scent bead scents. This one just seems to be more potent and to last on the clothing longer and keep them fresher longer. And again, it's just like an extra step. It's not necessarily necessary, but I like my clothes to smell good. I like the way that these smell. I've always liked the way that laundry products and laundry detergent and things like that smell. So I basically will try and use anything, even again, if it's not necessary. I should have put this more so with the clothing items, but I do technically have a jewelry item that is a favorite, and I could have put multiple jewelry items in here as a favorite, but one that I did want to put is the ones that are in my ears and the ones that are in my second hole specifically, which are from Mason Marou. They did send me their earrings. They're the ones that have like the flat back. They're called the nap earrings. They sent me them. They've actually sent me 2 pairs. I have one pair right here also to show you guys, which are just kind of like the regular clear studs. And then I also have these in my ears, which are the birthstone nap earrings that they launched last year. And when they've been in my ears, I have not taken them out. I just wear them all the time. And I was a person who I liked usually having a stud or just like something in my second hole, but was running into the issue where I could feel it like when I was napping or sleeping and things like that. And I am very particular about those types of things. It's almost like the Princess and the Pea, the smallest change to my bedtime routine can make me feel like, oh my gosh, I can't get the sleep that I want to get. So I like that I can still have earrings in my ears without interfering with other parts of my life or them like snagging and just all of the things that like the what do you call it, backs. I haven't had any issues with these like falling out. You know how sometimes, again, the back would, like the butterfly back, I think that's what it's called, would snag on something, a sweater, whatever, and it would come out. I haven't had that issue with these. They are very secure and have never come out, neither pair of them. And honestly, these made me kind of want to get, and even still in the back of my mind, I have like, maybe I want to get my 3rd cartilage hole pierced. I pretty much had sworn off, especially after my industrial piercing didn't really heal super well. I've talked about all of that in like the tattoo tour that I've done, which I actually have a few more tattoos since I did that video. I don't feel like it's enough to really do a whole new video on them, but if that's something you guys want to see, then I can do like a little bit of an updated tour. I probably, hopefully, if 2025 goes the way that I want, one of my resolutions or kind of bucket list, I like my resolutions to look a little bit more like a bucket list, honestly, but one of them is to finish this sleeve. I kind of have like patchwork going on because that's what I like. I just like different art styles and different artists and everything and just different things. I have too many ideas to just be like, oh, I want this one big piece, but I do want to finish this arm or like mostly finish the pieces that I want to get. And then if I still have some, you know, filling in with shading or other things to do to make it look like a more complete sleeve for me, then like figuring that out later. But I do want to like majorly complete my arm sleeve this year. So maybe I will by the end of this year have more. But all of that is an aside. I was saying how I had largely sworn off ear piercings or, you know, piercings of any type, because I don't really have a lot of real estate left that I want to pierce on my body. But these kind of make me want to get my third hole done so that I can have both this regular stud as well as my birthstone stud in my ear. But again, I really like these, don't have any issues with them irritating my ears. I grew up like even on this ear, it's not as apparent anymore, but like I have a keloid on the back of it, and sometimes earrings can irritate my ears a little bit, and I can leave these in and have had zero issues with them, like none. So I really do like them and would definitely purchase more from them. I'm just not as much of like a, you know, simple jewelry person. This is pretty much as simple as my jewelry gets. But if I want to try like a different style, crescent moon or something like that, I definitely will probably go back to Mason Maru. Now into some beauty adjacent-ish items. Nails. I had Olive and June like all up and down my nail routine, even honestly from their press-ons to like their actual nail products. I just have fallen in love with them on my natural nails, and again even on press-ons. So for my natural nails, which is where I've been going more recently, mainly because I want to pick back up playing guitar, and I can't really play guitar with long acrylics on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to grow out my regular, you know, natural nails, but I've always been a really bad nail biter, so that's something that I'm kind of battling with. Overall, these products I feel like have really improved the way that I feel about my natural nails, especially since they are a little bit shorter and nubbier. I also just feel like they're really good products and haven't compromised the strength of my nails. Speaking of strength, the top product from them that if there's anything you try from Olive and June I think you should try is their nail strengthener. I've been using this for the about 6 months since I stopped wearing press-ons regularly. I put them on like here and there whenever my nail biting was getting really bad, but generally I've been just using this, and the strength of my nails is crazy. Like I've always had really brittle, thin nails, even when I was younger. Again, I've always been a nail biter, so that definitely contributes to them being thin and brittle. And even though I am still a nail biter, I definitely feel like when I'm biting my nails, I have to bite a little bit harder, and it kind of gives me that second to kind of be like, okay, you don't want to be biting your nails. You said you want to grow them out. Stop biting them. Like, you know, it's an unconscious decision initially to like put your hands in your mouth and stop biting them, but the moment that I realize it, because I'm just like, oh, my nail is kind of tough, this is kind of strong, even for a hangnail or like something like that, I'll be like, okay, like you don't need to be biting your nail. You can also use this as a nail primer, and I really do feel like with both Olive and June nail polishes as well as non-Olive and June polishes, this lasts longer than some of the other nail priming products that I've used, and also for it to last longer than, you know, just the nail polish on its own. I'm actually really close to needing to buy another one of these, so you'll probably be seeing it in an empties rather soon. And then their nail color, I only have 2 of their nail colors, which I want to expand my nail polishes from them, but I also want to finish up some of the nail polishes that I've had for years, because I have so many different colors of nail polish, and it's like, you don't need to buy a new nail polish. But this is probably my favorite of the 2 colors I have. I have this and then a more sagey kind of green, which is equally as pretty, but I just feel like my nails look striking with this, and that it's the perfect red for me. It's not too blue toned, not too orange toned. It's still really bright. It's not like a burgundy or a deeper type of reddish purple or anything like that. It's just straight up red. Again, especially in combination with their nail strengthener and then their top coat, which I find similar to the nail strengthener, that no matter what brand of nail polish I use, I feel like these 2 together, or this and another top coat, like they work together amongst themselves and others, if that makes sense. But along with that, like this nail polish, y'all get a few chips here and there, but I don't notice like the nail polish peeling up. And that's something that used to happen to me a whole bunch, is that just the nail polish, even the same day that I painted my nails, would just pull up in one sheet. And again, I don't really notice that with using these products, whether I'm mixing and matching with other nail polishes. Like this nail polish that I have on right now is an old Milani one. Milani doesn't even make nail polishes anymore, even though if they bought them back, I wouldn't be mad because I don't dislike the formula, and the fact that I've had these for like 10 years and they're not super gloopy or anything like that. They're really good. If these weren't discontinued, they would probably be, especially this specific color, would be my favorite of the year. But even with this color, I don't notice it chipping a whole bunch or peeling up all in one sheet. I've had my nails painted since Friday night and I'm filming this on Monday afternoon. So I know only a few, 3 going on 4 days, but considering that my nail polish used to be gone the same day, that is a win for me. And then also they have such good press-ons. I like that they have like a lot of press-ons in their press-on kits. There's 42 nails in each of them. Yeah, 42 nails. There's a variety of sizes, from very, very big and wide nails to very small baby. I don't want to say baby nails because, there are some people who are adults with like just really small hands, but you know what I'm saying, just like a really small nail bed. They have a whole bunch of cool designs, even though I will say most of their designs are more so on the like neutral side. Like this is kind of like a ombre pink with some sparkles, and then I have this like deeper kind of like brown-ish nude, and then another one that's maybe a little bit more purpley, different shapes. So there's definitely a lot of versatility here as far as their nails. I know some people have said that the nail bed is a little bit too curved for them. I prefer that because I need something a little bit more curved, but if you do have a flatter nail bed, that might be an issue with this brand in particular. If you have a flatter nail bed, I would recommend trying out the Paint Lab ones. Those again would be like my second runner up for this year if I didn't like use and wear so many of the Olive and June ones. If I do really good nail prep when I wear these, I can easily get like 2 to 3 weeks out of them. Often I will just kind of be like, oh, I'm ready to change my manicure versus my manicure needs to be changed because I'm losing nails. So again, really like the Olive and June ones. They're probably one of the best nail brands that are at like a more affordable price point. Another product that has been helpful in my nail growth journey and just in general for my cuticles and my nails to not look quite as like dry and crusty, in addition to actually using hand creams and stuff like that and trying to not buy super dry stripping lotions, or not lotions, hand washes like Dial soap and stuff like that. Something like a nail oil, which I really like this one. It's from C&D. It's their solar oil for nail and cuticle care. Number one, I like the smell of this, which is probably like the least relevant or necessary thing for a nail oil in particular. Like most of us, I don't feel like, I hope we're not always like putting our hands up to our nose to sniff them. There might be a few instances where you may find that necessary, but I don't think all of the time. So having a nail oil that smells good isn't necessarily, it's just kind of like if it smelled like nothing, it would be fine, but it's something that like enhances the journey. It just has this really like fresh kind of floral scent to it, and again, not necessarily at all, but something that I can appreciate as someone who really loves fragrance. I also like that it soaks into the nail without being like, oh, I didn't put anything on. Like I can visibly still see it and feel it, and my nails and nail beds look and feel nourished, but it's not necessarily, except when you like first put it on, of course, but it's a nail oil, like that's to be expected. But as it soaks in, like, 10, 15 minutes later, it's not so greasy that I feel like I'm leaving little grease marks on everything that I touch. I also feel like in combination with the nail strengthener that both of those have just been working to improve the health of my nail. I don't have quite as many little jagged, you know, pieces or like parts that are super thin. The parts that are thin or that I've had dips in are growing out pretty nicely. So again, all of those great products, and I'm really happy that I started using them and that I feel like they've been helpful. I haven't been biting my nails down to complete nubs. I still have enough to put nail polish on. So, you know, those products have been really working well for me. Something that is beauty adjacent slash makeup adjacent but isn't makeup is the EcoTools Instant Dry Daily Brush Cleanser. I have this super big size, but I actually started off with, you know, just the spray bottle. And I had been a long time user of the Cinema Secrets brush cleanser, and I still do really like the Cinema Secrets, but it's expensive, let's be honest. And if I can get something that works pretty similarly for a portion of the price in this economy, I'm going to get the thing that works similarly for a portion of the price, unless I'm just really beholden to that brand or have some sort of like investment, whether it's emotional or otherwise, in that brand. You know what I'm saying? So for me, this does the job. It does feel like when, and this might have just been when I was transferring it into the other bottle, like some of it, you know, got on the side of that other bottle. And this does seem to have some oils in it. Let's see. It has jojoba oil and tree leaf oil, as well as macadamia seed oil. So I'm guessing that it's using more oils than like something that feels or is potentially more alcohol based. I don't remember exactly what's in the Cinema Secrets, but it definitely was a little bit more like, it kind of smelled like an underlying alcohol. So it seems like this is using, again, oils more so to break down what is in your brush, like the makeup, and help get your brush clean. So I did feel like the outside with some of what leaked when I was transferring it felt a little bit oily, but of course I just wiped it down with a towel and that went away. So again, just like a small little thing that is probably inconsequential, but I bought this because I was just like, I'm gonna continue buying the EcoTools one because it's less expensive. Like this bottle I think is $17 at Ulta versus the really big bottle of the Cinema Secrets is like 40 something. Unless that one goes on sale, I'll probably be sticking with the EcoTools for now, but it really works well. It gets like your eyeshadow, your base makeup, like whatever, out of your foundation brush, your eye brush, whatever brush. It just helps clean your brushes, and it's really good. Like if you were a working makeup artist and needed to switch between colors or switch between, you know, multiple clients, or were doing a bridal party or something like that, this would be really easy versus, you know, having to bring a whole bunch of different brushes or like your whole caravan of brushes to do makeup because you can't, you know, switch the colors and stuff like that. So again, I'm a fan of this. I have a few makeup favorites, but one of them is not still here with me because I finished it up. It's the Honest Beauty 2-in-1 mascara. I really liked that. It gave very beautiful length, very good volume. I would say it was probably a little bit more so on the length giving side than volume giving side, but it still had a good balance of the two. I kind of looked like I had falsies on, and even sometimes people would like actually comment on my lashes, like your lashes look really good. So I feel as though it was more than just like mascara, or it gave a vibe that was more than just mascara. But again, I finished that up. I have other mascaras that I'm trying to finish, so I haven't repurchased it, but I definitely would repurchase that one like over and over again. Honestly, a lot of my makeup favorites this year were eyeshadows because I started doing my makeup a little bit more despite having, you know, some periods here and there where I was depressed or had other various things going on in my life that made me less wanting to do my makeup. And honestly, I haven't tried a whole bunch of new makeup because I've been more so focused on panning and trying to use up what I currently have. And something that I technically already had this, but then I also won a Milani giveaway and got sent more of them, or like the updated version of them. And I like them equally as much and use them throughout the year. It's their eyeshadow sticks. I have one of their old ones that I like to use in this more like olivey green shade. And then one of their new ones in this shade Terra, which is more of like a deeper kind of brown bronze shade. It has like a slight shimmer to it, and there's almost like a slight purple tone to it as well. But these have like a nice amount of shimmer, kind of like almost metallic looking without being like too shiny. It's just like slight, if that makes sense. They also have a really good base of color. It's not like you're, just putting a very light wash of color on. The color's gonna show up, the sparkle shows up. They're really nice and creamy, but I don't find them creasing or not staying in place. Again, they're just really good eyeshadows, and I like the colors that are offered for them. Another cream eyeshadow that I got a lot of use out of, I honestly wore this a lot on different dates that I was going on, because it's one of those eyeshadows that it's not really, I would say, metallic, but it's sparkly. It kind of has those like individual kind of flecks of shimmer throughout it that just give that pixelated, like beautiful, the type of look that I'm talking about. And it is Phytosurgic's Hypnotic Honey eyeshadow. It's kind of just like a straight up neutral bronze shade, but again, it has that like reflectiveness. It is so pretty. Again, just so nice for like a kind of, I want to look really nice and put together, but it's not super colorful or out there. It's a pretty natural looking eyeshadow, really good for like a one and done type of situation with the eyes. Phytosurgic's has plenty of other colors. If this one isn't necessarily one that would be like that one and done for your skin tone, they have a lot. Like this type of formula with the like slight diffuse sparkliness is really their bread and butter. And then lastly, this is the palette that if I were doing a look for a date or something like that, some sort of special event, I was finding myself always reaching for this. Novel Cosmetics Side by Side. Even years later, this is still one of my favorite palettes. We've got warm neutrals, cool neutrals, a deep black. I've talked about this so much that I feel as though I don't really need to talk about it anymore, but it is gorgeous. There's also some other shades that are kind of like this one, where I mean, it's like a almost powder hybrid formula, but like this Better Society shade has that like diffuse glitter type of look, as well as the shade Magic Moment. So you can kind of see that I've dipped quite a bit into those shades in particular, but I love the entire palette. I've used every single shade in this palette. Like, I can think of a million looks to put together, and I'm always inspired when I see it. So this is, if there was one palette that I would say every makeup beginner should get, that especially if you like neutrals in particular, but every makeup beginner who likes neutrals should get this palette. And then honestly, the rest of my makeup favorites for the year are lip products, because I was mainly using, again, Project Pan stuff for complexion, and none of those products were necessarily screaming out to me this year. It was definitely the year of like lip balms and lip oils. I have two, well, technically three types of lip balms, but these are kind of more on the lip balm mask end of things. So first I have the Topical Slick Salve Mint Lip Balm. They also have their acai that I definitely want to pick up at some point, because it kind of looks like what I have on my lips right now, and this is also like a lip balm lip mask type of situation, and I want to finish this before getting the topicals one. But I really like this. It is thicker. If you have like hair and you're in the wind or whatever, it's going to stick in your lips. If you have like pets and you put this on and kiss them, their fur is going to stick completely all over your lips. So it definitely has like a stick factor to it, but on the lips, I don't find it sticky. It's not like I'm rubbing my lips together and they're like coming apart like that. That was completely exaggerated, by the way. This product doesn't do that at all. You kind of get the vibe of what I'm saying. So I don't get that from this, though I know it was kind of a point of contention when it originally came out, of it being like, is it sticky? Is it not? To me, it's just like a thicker mask formula. Someone has actually compared it to the old Bite Beauty, like before their rebrand of their lip mask. And I would say the Bite Beauty one was a little bit thicker from what I remember, but it's very close. This one, of course, has the mintiness. I don't know if the acai flavor has the mintiness or shade. It might be flavor as well. I don't know if that one also has the mintiness, but this one does. I've heard, again, some people say that like that can irritate their lips, but that's not something that irritates mine. It has ceramides, hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and rice bran wax. And I have to say, like, it's one where I put it on at night, no matter like what time in the evening. It could be like 8 o'clock in the evening or 11 p.m. right before bed that I put it on. And when I wake up the next morning, it's of course not all still there, but my lips still feel like hydrated. They don't feel dry or like I didn't put anything on at all. And often I still do have a little bit of like, there's still a little bit of lip balm. Like, of course, not a full, what is that, sheet? Not a sheet, a full layer, I guess I should say, of lip balm, but I definitely still feel something there. So again, this has been my favorite thing for like the actual health of my lips. A close second is the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balm. This is specifically the one in the shade Spice, but I more so like using this to throw on to like even out the hyperpigmentation of my lips. A lot of the time, if I am filming a video and I don't have makeup on, this is the lip balm that I'll put on just to make it look like I have, like I have something on my lips, but not like I have lipstick or lip gloss or something super pigmented. Again, it just kind of evens out the tone of my lips while adding some shine and nourishment. I do feel like this one wears off, again, a little bit quicker than the topicals. And I sometimes feel a little bit like my lips feel dry after wearing this, or like after it's completely worn off. But I don't know if it's just like my lips feel dry because there's no more lip balm and like I need to reapply. It's not something that I feel like is making my lips dry out, if that makes sense. But again, I really do enjoy this. I just, kind of use it for slightly different purposes than this one. And then Phytosurgeons also came out with their lip balms, which I have these, test tubes of them because I got to be a part of the campaign. And while that was super cool, I actually really loved the lip balms, and I even got to like test out the lip balms before. And like with the original clear one, I was able to say, hey, there's a little bit of like a white cast going on with it, so it's really cool to be a part of the product development process to like help a brand make their product. Like, even though like obviously Phytosurgeons did 100% of the lifting with coming out with a great collection of lip balms, it's again cool to give some of my input or be like, I would tweak this color this way. Or even when they were like, hey, we want to tweak this specific color, and I was like, I don't think you need to tweak it, but if you want to tweak it, you can go for it. Just keep some of the old version, like keep that in the formula book in case I want it. I really like these. I often put the clear one on, even when I'm just like walking around the house, of course, but like on underneath other lip products, especially if I'm doing like a red lip and want to do like a red blotted or like red lip tint. And I'm saying when because I'm probably going to bully them into doing it, but when they do come out with a red lip balm, I won't need to do that. But some of my red lip products, like red lipsticks, I just want to sheer out and give them that like lip balmy look. So this is really good for that. But the last time that I did like a sheer red lip look, it's involved this. Pretty much any time this year since I've gotten that I've done a more sheer red lip look, it's involved that one. And then there's also, of course, the more like brown tone, kind of like mauvey pink shade called Soft Swells. And I like that, like along with something like what I'm wearing right now, kind of more cool toned or like purpley-ish types of things. I like this. And then there's Warm Waves and Brave Break, which are both, you know, browns. One's just a little bit deeper than the other. So this one's really kind of like my lips but better type of color. And then this one just gives me like a little bit more depth and almost like a chocolatey type of look, like not like chocolate smeared on your lips type of look, but just as far as the color is what I'm trying to get at. But I really like these because they are nice and soft and have that like plush feeling on the lips. They're nourishing without being like thick or again having like a super shininess to it. It's definitely more of like a traditional lip balm than like a lip oil, lip gloss balm, lip mask, like the ones that are going to provide super high gloss to your lips. And for being lip balms, they honestly pack a good amount of color. Of course, they can be sheared out, but you can definitely build them up to, you know, have a little bit more pigment underneath a lip liner or something like that. It will probably look pretty much full pigment. And then the glosses slash lip oils that I've really enjoyed over the last year are the Milani Fruit Fetish ones. The first one that I have, I purchased myself, and it is the shade, what is it? Cocoa. And this is like, you know, just a kind of brown, just true, maybe slightly warm, but true brown, slightly warm color. It's not like a lot of color to the lips, honestly. Like they just give a slight tint. They're still really nice. They don't last very long on the lips at all, but I just really like the color. They're really good for that, just a little bit of brown lip liner and then like a wash of color on the lips type of vibe. They're also just really easy to like put on top of anything or on your lips by itself. And again, it's kind of a color similar to this Spice one that just evens out the tone of my lips. And then this other one that is more of a recent one because it was one that was sent to me in like the giveaway package that I won toward the end of the year. But this is the shade Lychee Nectar. And this one is just like, again, a really pretty, honestly would probably go with what I've got going on right now. Pinky berry. Again, it's not doing a lot, but it added a little bit of, you know, shine. And with this one in particular, the scent of this one, like, oh my gosh, I want to eat it, kind of. Like if I were not any more evolved as a person, I would definitely put this on just to like lick it off. It smells so yummy. But again, they don't really like last super long. They just like look really nice. They're comfortable while they are on the lips. And I personally like the fact that they've got like the flavors and smells and stuff. It reminds me of my younger years of lip smackers and trying to collect different ones or try out all the flavors. And sometimes we need some of that like nostalgia and joy in our day. And we're moving into our last categories of skincare and body care. Let's do body care first because there's only 2 of those products. The first is the Naturium The Glow Getter Multi-Oil Body Wash. Honestly, I could probably put the entire line of the Naturium Glow Oil products in here because I love each and every one of them that I've tried. The only one I haven't tried thus far is the body oil, but I actually, like once I finish up some of the body oils that I currently have, that is the next one on my wish list to buy because I want to try it so bad. But I love the Glow Getter body oil. This is not the body oil, this is the shower oil. I love it because it has a nice lather, but it's still really nice and like moisturizing. It doesn't make my skin feel super stripped like some other soaps. Even today, I did not use this when I showered. I used a bar soap instead, and I could definitely feel just like the difference in my skin. My skin feels so much softer when I use this. It doesn't have an overwhelming scent or anything, at least not to me. Some people say it smells kind of vanilla-y. I feel like maybe like a light hint, but to me it just kind of smells soapy. So it's a really great one. Again, if you have dry, scaly skin like myself, this whole line will get you right. The lotion, the body butter, and this, like all of those are great. But then for lotion, we all know that I love the EOS lotions. Like I feel like I am one of their biggest fans. I know that everyone talks about them. Everyone especially has talked about vanilla cashmere, but when people were only talking about vanilla cashmere, I cared about all of the other scents. So that's why I feel like I'm their number one biggest fan. And they came out with some new scents this year. Honestly, a few new scents, but one that is not one of the limited edition ones that just has been running through my mind rent-free for the year and that I've been using a lot is Pink Champagne. And I feel as though Strawberry Dream gets the kind of hype because we've had a lot of strawberry fragrances come out. That one is like a strawberry milk or strawberry cupcake type of vibe to it. And so it goes really well with a lot of what was launching last year. Pink Champagne, however, is like this sparkling fruity musk fragrance, and it just smells incredible. Like if you like scents like Eden Juicy Apple from Kayali, Pear Blossom from Mix Bar, just like really fruity, floral, musky fragrances, then you'll absolutely love this. And it's so good to layer. Like when I say this and Eden Juicy Apple is like one of my favorite layering combos, especially for the spring and summer, I was, like I said, going through this, I'm actually really surprised. And like I could feel it's pretty light and that I've definitely used a lot of it, but I'm actually surprised that I have as much of this as I do left because of how much I was using it. I also feel like the EOS lotions are pretty nice and moisturizing. Is it something that's going to give you like 48, 72 hour moisture, like moisturize for the whole week? No, but in general, I was able to, even like when I was in a corporate job and stuff, put this on and get through my entire day without worrying about like, oh, am I ashy? So moisturization, that's going to be personal to you, but I feel as though this is a good balance of having great scents as well as some moisturization instead of it just feeling like adding water on your body. Coming around the home stretch to skincare, I've got a few products. One of them is something that, again, technically could have been tied with another product that I will also mention, and it's the Lip Bar Total Meltdown Makeup Remover Balm. This is the second one of these balms that I am on so far. I like that it comes with a little spatula inside of it so that, you know, you don't have to dip your hands that are like dirty, you know, because sometimes you have to double dip. Sometimes you misestimate or miscalculate how much makeup you actually have on your face, and you need to go back and get a little bit more of your makeup remover to remove all of it. And I don't like, you know, having those little marks of your makeup in the remover and stuff like that. So I like that it comes with the little spatula. But overall, I just like that this takes off my makeup in one nice fell swoop. I usually don't have a lot of like residue left over. And if I do, it's more so around like the edges of my hair where it's kind of more difficult to get in those places without like basically starting to rub into the edges of my scalp, because you know we put bronzer and different products all up in here, and sometimes it does still get like a little bit in the hair, especially with me having like no hair. So those are only really the instances where I'll notice a lot of makeup, or like not even a lot, any makeup left over. And I really like this. It's similar to the Naturium one in my opinion, like in the fact that it is emollient without, you don't need water to make it more emollient. It's just emollient on its own. It takes off makeup really well, and it doesn't leave behind like a super oily or greasy residue on the face. Again, I mostly just started buying this one because the Naturium one was always out of stock, and then this one just kind of became the one where I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it again. I also loved the Bioma Hydrating Milky Toner. This is, I believe, the second one of these that I have, I'm pretty sure. And I just use it almost in every single skincare routine. Like sometimes I won't use it during the daytime, but more often than not, I just like adding a little bit of this because it just helps my skin have like a nice drink of water. It's really nice and like creamy without being too thick. I feel like people who want moisturization or like need moisturization, like dehydrated, oily skin people would probably really like this because it sinks into the skin and delivers that hydration without being too thick or slippery, greasy, whatever the case may be. I also find that when I put this on before, especially like at night when I'm using exfoliating acids and stuff, and I put this on before, sometimes exfoliating acids can give you that tingle on the face, and I don't really experience that. So it must be like, you know, helping create a nice little barrier between the harsh exfoliating products and my skin. So again, really, really enjoy this one. I like a lot of Bioma products, but this is my favorite of this year. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the Bioma products I tried this year, especially like the facial skincare that I tried this year, I wasn't as much of a fan of as like some of the more staple products that I had tried from them in years previously. Then to round out to moisturizer, I have the Verdant Force Field from Phytosurgeons. I was gifted my first bottle of this and then bought another one and then was gifted like my third and fourth bottles. I haven't opened the fourth one. I love this. Like, it is a product that not only works so well for my skin, I have kind of like dry, normal to dry skin, but like there's specific areas of my skin that are drier than others. And then there's some areas of my skin that are oily, like my T-zone, especially, and not even my full T-zone. I feel like it stops like halfway down my nose. This is pretty much highlighter, but then like my forehead gets really, really greasy, like possibly it's been getting greasy during the duration of me filming this video. And so I feel like this is a moisturizer that is nice and nourishing and moisturizing and gives my skin a nice glow without me looking dewy and oily and greasy and without under makeup it looking too greasy. It just looks really nice and hydrated. I also have found so many alternative uses for this, which not really found. It's basically alternative uses that, you know, a regular lotion could fulfill, but I just started using it that way. When I went on a beach trip and came back with some sunburn, I put this on my sunburn, didn't get any peeling because it actually has aloe. Like the first ingredient of this is aloe leaf extract. It was actually really nice and calming on my sunburn. So I really enjoyed the fact that it was calming on my sunburn and I didn't go through the icky, peely, itchy stage. This winter, I've been washing my hands a lot, especially like when I'm going out and about and things. And my hands have been getting, you know, those like bumps you get when you're washing your hands so much and your skin is drying out, basically a form of eczema. And so I have been putting this on and it's been helping with calming that down. So absolutely love this. It's supposed to have a cap. I don't even know where the cap is, like because I just used it so much that the cap went missing one day. I must have taken it off to use and then my cats grabbed it or something, but I'm gonna still use it. I'm going to stick by her. And again, so many uses. Oh, I also use this on my tattoos. So if you have tattoos and you need something like a balm or something like that, but you don't want, again, something that's too greasy, this works just fine on it. Then we've got what I kind of consider my underdog skincare product, because when I first got it sent to me, I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like every other kind of exfoliating product. I actually thought it was an exfoliating serum at first, but it's more of like a mask type of product. And I was like, it's probably gonna be like every other one, like it works just fine. But I actually really fell in love with this. It's the Rael Miracle Clear Brightening Triple Acid Exfoliant. It has 15% AHA, BHA, and PHA, and includes also triple hyaluronic acid. And I feel like the mixture mixture of those high acids with the hyaluronic acid that is in here is what prevents this from being a exfoliant that like burns or tingles your skin. It's very similar in function to other, exfoliating gel masks that I've tried in the past and enjoyed, like Drunk Elephant. I liked the TLC Framboos, even though I think that Drunk Elephant is way, way overpriced, and that again, you can find similar skincare for significantly cheaper. It also reminds me of the Bubble exfoliating mask because the Bubble one reminded me originally of the TLC Framboos, and this is like the Bubble mask if the Bubble mask tingled even less. Like there's a little slight tingle that I would get from the Bubble mask, which tingling can either be like, it's not always a bad thing, but sometimes it can be, especially if it's like a more intense tingle that feels more like burning. It could be indicative that your skin barrier is compromised or that like that specific exfoliant is just too strong for your skin type. So I feel like the hyaluronic acid in here definitely helps buffer that so that more people would be able to use this without having a reaction to it. But I also feel like every single time I use this, I especially like to use it when my skin is feeling and looking a little bit more congested, when I have some acne popping up. Like I even had some pretty intense acne, at least intense for me, on my chin over the last month or so. And I was starting to use this more regularly than I had before. Like before I was using it maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks because I wasn't having as many of those issues. But when I started having more breakouts, I started using this more so like once a week, even sometimes just dotting this on top of the pimple itself instead of putting it over my entire face. And every time this came in contact with a pimple, whether it was my entire face or just me doing like a spot treatment with it, the pimple always started to shrink. It either came to a head, like if it was one of those that was under the skin, it would finally come up to a head so that I could put like a pimple patch or something on it and help draw it out. Or if it was like one of the smaller little cluster bumps, it would shrink back down. Or if it had already come to a head or was already at a head, it would either bursting or coming back down. Either way, I was noticing it doing things. It was moving. It was putting in work on my acne and on any pimples that I had. And I was like, we got to give credit where it's due. Acne is something where I kind of have to battle with, it's not anything to say negatively about me. Acne is not necessarily a bad thing or a moral failing, but you can feel a little bit, especially if you are someone whose skin is generally pretty clear. Like when you start getting acne, it can feel a little bit distressing. It can kind of be like, okay, how can I get rid of this? And as I've talked about before, I have some of those like under the skin type of pimples that can be really painful, that can be more painful than my herpes outbreaks that I have. So it's just kind of like, for me, pimples are something not only with them being on my face where I'm just like, oh, I want to get rid of them, but they hurt. They're like, I want to get rid of this because I can actually feel it and be aware of it more than, eczema or like other skin ailments that I have. So this has really been helpful for getting them to the point where they're either coming out from under the skin so that they don't hurt anymore, or they're just retreating entirely. If they don't send me any more of this, definitely repurchase it. But when I finish it, you best believe I will tag them on Instagram. Like if you have me on IG, I will tag them and be like, hey, can y'all send me another one? Do y'all want to send me another one? Because I really like this. And last but not least, pimple patches. I used to really like the Hero Cosmetics ones, but I just feel as though there's been something with them where they haven't been as effective on me. I feel like they weren't like sticking really well. So again, when I was starting to get more of my acne, I was like, let me go and try the Inkey List. I like a lot of the Inkey List products that I've tried, and I was interested in the pimple patches because it was a relatively new product. And these are my favorite pimple patches, not only because they are really nice and sticky and like they actually stick onto the pimple instead of like just coming up off the skin or peeling off in the middle of the night or anything like that, but they also have some actives in there. So in addition to the actives that you're using like in your skincare products, when you're covering up a pimple with this product, it's also having some actives being placed on it. So it has the hydrocolloid, of course, which is what hydrocolloid patches are made out of, but it also has salicylic acid and succinic acid, which removes excess oil and reduces the appearance of redness, and also ectoin, which helps lock in hydration and soothe blemish prone skin. Woo, that's a tongue twister. And I like these because they come in two different sizes, but it doesn't come with one of those like super duper small sizes that is basically not really useful for anyone. There's been a few other brands of pimple patches that I've tried that have like a size a little bit smaller than this, and it's just like anything that small, like those little bumps, and again, maybe I'm just the minority on that, but those little bumps I'm not really as concerned with as like the larger bumps that I would want to use this on. Like again, those under the skin closed comedones that I'm trying to get to come up to the surface. Often I would just use these if it was already at the surface, and it would kind of like help bring the gunk out, and you know, take the pimple patch off the next day and it's gone. It takes the head with it and everything. But I also really liked using these after the head was gone too, just to kind of contain all of what's happening, because especially with some of those like larger closed ones, like once they burst, then you've got like this juice just kind of like glistening there. And of course that can often have bacteria that can cause further breakouts. So you don't want that just sitting there or potentially smearing over onto other parts of your chin, body, face, whatever, to cause more acne. So it's also good for just kind of covering them. They're not completely invisible, but they are not as like visible as like the non-invisible pimple patches, you know what I'm saying? And obviously I'm not talking about star face or ones that are meant to look a certain way or have a certain color or be cute, but like for instance, the original Hero Cosmetics ones aren't clear, but they also like, they just kind of look a little bit translucent. This is lighter than translucent, but not transparent completely, at least on my skin tone. But again, they're the ones that I am going to be purchasing from here on out, because I just feel like they stick really well to the skin, and those extra actives help with pimples and acne resolve itself. Anyway, again, I know that was a monster of the video. If you're still with me, I appreciate you so much. I hope that, and this is a little bit more, I know we're a little bit in 25 at this point, but like I hope that if you didn't have a great 2024, or you didn't hit certain goals, or you didn't use the makeup that you wanted to use in 2024, that you're able to do so in 2025. And I hope that you guys are along with me for my ride and seeing whether I still love these products and whether I'm still using them throughout this year in 2025. Anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day and that you're staying safe and healthy wherever you are when you're watching this. Bye.